What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast, Talking with Beauties, episode 116, the Wednesday news. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about the Euros because those are wrapping up and the round of 16s is right around the corner. Plus, we got a new champion in college baseball for the first time ever, and the Calder Cup has been hoisted once again. First, let's head into the NHL. So we'll start off in the Stanley Cup today. Crazy series. We had 7 games between the Panthers and the Oilers. Came down to Game 7 yesterday on Monday night, and this one ended in Florida's way. They won it on home ice. 2-1 was the final score. They won the series 4-3, obviously. Panthers win their very first in franchise history. This is the third trip to the Cup final. This also means that we have more of a drought for the Canadian squads. It's 31 plus years now of no Canadian teams winning a Stanley Cup. So that's tough news for Canada all in general, especially for the Edmonton Oilers, since they were able to come back, win 3 straight. It's tough to beat a same team 4 straight times. Just fell a little short in this one. Great goaltending, both sides of the net. Del Bobrovsky looked great. Great defense too for the Oilers, or for the Panthers. For the Oilers, Skinner looked good. Had 1 goal he probably should have back, but it seemed like he was maybe screened on that play as well. So tough look for the Oilers, just going all that way there. Panthers finally able to shut them down, though, getting that one there. So they're actually become the 3rd team to win the Cup following the year after they lost. The 2009 Pittsburgh Penguins did that, and the 1984 Edmonton Oilers were also part of a team that lost it and brought it back home the following year. Now on the other side, Corey Perry, he unfortunately has a bad side of history here. Becomes the first player to lose 4 Cup finals in 4 different squads. That's tough. That's it's not the history you want there. He's got success getting there, just unfortunately can't get over the hump. Luckily, he does have 1 Cup with Anaheim back in 2007. The Conn Smythe winner, playoff MVP for the entire playoffs, not just the finals, was Connor McDavid. He broke Gretzky's playoff assist record. He becomes the 3rd player in history to record 40-plus points in 1 postseason. He's also becomes the 6th non-winner to win the award, 2nd skater to do so. The last person to do this was John Sebastian Jaguar from the 2003 Anaheim Mighty Ducks. I was talking to the podcast dad while we were watching the game. I really thought McDavid was going to win it no matter what. Bobrovsky, if they won it in maybe 5 games, I think Bobrovsky probably would have won it. He was lights out the first 3 games. But because that final game, him getting pulled in Game 4, Game 5 not looking that great, Game 6, again, not looking all that great. He looked great in Game 7, but just those 3 losses, I think, were too much against him. Unfortunately, he did have a good run, but I just don't think it was enough there. So McDavid winning the Conn Smythe, not surprised. I actually think it's very evident that there really wasn't anyone close to his level there. But he would not come out on the rink to accept the award, which was very interesting. I am very surprised about that. I mean, we normally see a lot of players do come out, accept the award, get the picture with the commissioner with the award because they won the Cup, I guess. But in 2003, Jaguar was out there for the Cup or for the Conn Smythe. Took a picture with it, did take you back to the locker room. Everyone left the rink after that. So I was very surprised. I thought McDavid should have been out there. I don't think it's a good move on his part. Some people are it's kind of mixed reviews. Looking online, a lot of people said that it was a right thing to do. So not celebrate, but like go with your team. It's a team sport kind of thing. But something we haven't seen before, something that doesn't just get handed out to anybody. I think McDavid should have came out and accepted the award, but that's just me. When it comes to the Panthers, though, Evan Rodriguez gets the honor of being the first Evan on the Stanley Cup. It's a very common name. Very surprised that no one's had the name Evan and won the Stanley Cup. So congrats to Evan Rodriguez. And Paul Maurice, head coach of the Panthers, becomes the 2nd coach to ever win their first 5 Game 7s in his career. Pete DeBoer is the only other one, and he's 8-0 in 7 games. So congrats to Paul Maurice on winning this one. He coached his team phenomenally, was able to somehow wrangle this team together and get a Game 7 win, especially after losing 3 straight. You know that locker room's got to be not too positive there, but overall able to get it done. Great job Florida Panthers there. Congrats to you guys. And celebration has already started. A lot of videos already circulating on where this cup has been. It's just going to get more and more wild. All right, we got some trades to talk about. So let's talk about the oldest one. Let's head to the New Jersey and Calgary Flames trade. Jacob Markstrom goes from the Flames to the Devils in exchange for Kevin Ball and a 2025 first-round pick, which is top 10 protected. Calgary will also keep 31% of the contract for Markstrom. Great trade for New Jersey. I think this is exactly what they need. They need a star goaltender, someone to help and give them the help. I think Markstrom actually has been very good in Calgary for what Calgary has put out there for him. So I think this is actually a really good situation for Markstrom and the Devils. We had to trade two where Washington and Pierre-Luc Dubois are linking up in exchange for Darcy Kemper. He's going back to Los Angeles. This is a weird trade. I'm surprised that anybody even wanted PLD in this one. That contract's not good. I'll pop up the contract right now for him. Darcy Kemper is also not great. I think he's like 3 years, $5.7 million. PLD is worse. Has not produced at all this past year. So it's honestly very surprising that we're getting a trade or 1-for-1 here. But I'm okay with it. I think it's going to leave both teams satisfied. I would not be surprised to see Washington maybe revive PLD's career in this one. We had to trade three where we have Ottawa and Boston swapping names last night. Linus Ullmark goes from Boston to Ottawa in exchange for Jonas Korpisalo, Mark Kastelik, and a 2024 first-round draft pick in this upcoming draft, pick number 25. 25% of the contract will stay in Ottawa for Jonas Korpisalo. I think this is great. It's sad. I really like Linus Ullmark in Boston. Him and Swayman as a combo have been lights out the last couple of years. And we're not going to see that Ullmark and Swayman hug anymore, which is unfortunate. I really like that those two together. Very good combo. But Korpisalo coming over to Boston, being that backup role, I could definitely see that being a good situation for him because I don't think he's been working very well as a starter. Last year just wasn't able to get it done. So I think Ullmark going to Ottawa, being the automatic starter out of the gate, it's going to be good for him. I think Korpisalo, knowing he's going to probably be a backup role, is going to be a good situation for him. And getting a first-round draft pick out of Ullmark as well, definitely icing on the cake there. So good job for Boston. Fourth trade, San Jose gets Jake Wallman and 2024 second-round pick, this upcoming draft, pick number 53, in exchange for Detroit. We're going to see future considerations in this one. So Jake Wallman going to San Jose, actually pretty solid pickup, good defenseman there. I think it's going to be pretty good. Future considerations could be anything now, so we can't really value this trade too much. But I think Wallman going to San Jose, pretty good pickup for the Sharks. All right, let's head to signings now. So we got a lot of extensions in this one. We'll start off in Colorado. Earlier today, Casey Middlestat signed a contract for 3 years, $5.75 million AAV. Very good pickup, I thought, at the deadline. Let both teams satisfied him, and I can't think of the other guy's name right now, but I'll pop up his name right now. Very good defenseman, Bowen Byron. Bowen Byron going over to Buffalo in this one. So I think that's actually a really good trade for both sides, and I think Casey signing this 3 years is going to be good for Colorado. Winnipeg signs Dylan DeMello to 4 years, $4.9 million AAV. Kind of high, kind of surprised, but I think DeMello is actually a well-liked player in Winnipeg, so I think it's going to be good in the long run for them as well. LA Kings and Alex Turcotte signed for 3 years, $775K AAV. Could be a really underrated pick. I think Turcotte's been okay. He's been a bottom six guy. Kind of doesn't do too much there, but if he develops into one of the players that they think LA is going to, or what LA thinks Turcotte will be, I think it might be actually a really underrated pick there, especially if you keep him as a really good, productive bottom six guy. I think it's going to be a really good signing there. And lastly, Pittsburgh and Alex Nedeljkovic, signs a 2-year, $2.5 million AAV. Nedeljkovic is not that bad. He's a backup. He's not a starter, so knowing his role, I think is going to be fine. 2.5 a little high in my eyes, but who knows? Maybe he actually will become a starter, get more reps, become a better starter role. But right now, it definitely seems a backup. So a little expensive for a backup role in my eyes, but who knows? It might work out in the long run. And we got two guys retiring. We'll start off with Andrew Cogliano, a guy who's near and dear to my heart because the fan base of Anaheim played a lot of games here in Anaheim. So I know him very well. Big fan of Andrew Cogliano. 37-year-old was drafted in 2005, 25th overall. Played 1,294 games over 17 seasons with Edmonton, Anaheim, Dallas, San Jose, Colorado. And also won the Stanley Cup with Colorado. He had a great Ironman streak going. I think 880 games. Wasn't too far off the Ironman streak. Was actually ahead of Phil Kessel as well and Keith Yandel, I believe. And unfortunately was suspended for a hit on Drew Doughty, which I guarantee if you look back at it, I bet you 99% of people will say that is not a suspension, especially with the past history of Andrew Cogliano not being a dirty player at all, being one of the most liked guys in the locker room for sure. Very surprised that he got 2 games for that, messed up the Ironman streak, and fans were not happy about this. That was back in, I think, 2014, 2015 area, so it's been a while. It's been a long time ago. But Cogliano, congrats on your career. Really good, awesome career. He actually will be staying in the Colorado Eagles organization, which is the AHL team of the Avalanche, and being in the front office. He'll be doing a lot of stuff with the front office squad there. And the other guy retiring, Derek Brassard, 36-year-old, played over 1,000 games, 1,013 games in 16 seasons across a bunch of teams. He played for Columbus, New York Rangers, Ottawa, Pittsburgh, Florida, Arizona, Colorado, New York, Philadelphia, and Edmonton. Really good career. One of the guys that everybody seemed to know. Did bounce around a lot, but playing 1,000 games in a season, in a career, hats off to you, man. Have an awesome retirement, and we'll see you hopefully in the front office. I would not be surprised to see him in a front office role. We got some news coming out of Arizona. So around today or so, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week, I believe it was supposed to be later, maybe Thursday or Friday. We were going to get that auction in Arizona for that new land that the Coyotes ownership was going to go after, and supposedly it is not going to go through. So the situation there is pretty much going to be non-existent. I mean, it looks like the state of Arizona wants more permits and stuff like that for building some sort of arena on that land, because that land is not meant for an arena. So they want more owners or more permits and like drops and things like that for it to approve the sale to the Morellos and the Arizona Coyotes. Unfortunately, they are not going to do that, and Morello yesterday decided he is stepping down from the Coyotes. So he is no longer going to be part of the Coyotes organization and the ownership there. What does that mean for hockey in Arizona? I got zero clue. I don't know if this means that the whole idea of Arizona getting a hockey team is done. I don't know if this means that just because they're stepping away from that whole trying to make an arena in the time frame. I think we got 5 years. Does that mean that he just walks away? He keeps all the branding, all the ownership of the copyright, stuff like that? Or can somebody come in and swap and buy all that stuff and take over that time frame that the NHL gave out? Or are we going to have to see a whole new ownership put in a submission for a team, try to get an expansion, and then if they choose Arizona to beat that location, then there's a whole new expansion team as the Arizona whatever. Can they even use the name Coyotes? Can they not? A lot of questions, a lot of stuff that we don't even have answered because of this news drop pretty much from the Morello family and their organization that is part of the ownership there. So a lot of stuff to digest here for the Yotes and the Yote fans. I'm not sure what is going to happen. A lot of question marks going around, but it's the kind of thing where I guess we won't know until more answers come out from the NHL and maybe even some insiders. Maybe they know some more of the financial and legal stuff behind it. But very interesting. Doesn't look like Arizona is going to get a team anytime soon, though, which is unfortunate news for Coyote fans. All right, let's head into more happy news. We got 2 new logos to talk about. We'll start off in Los Angeles. Last week, we got a new logo for the Kings. We discussed it, I think, 2 weeks ago, that the Kings were going to get a new look. It was going to be a modernized version of the 90s Gretzky logo, and that is what we got. We see this new logo. It is a Flashback to the 90s look, we got a brand new font on the front of that. A lot thicker font than they were before, easier to read, which I actually think is a great addition to this logo. I think the font was too hard to read on the old one, especially that word Los Angeles. You could see it way more clear on the top of the logo. Very good add there. That crown on the bottom underneath Kings is that modernized version of the 1967 logo, the original logo of the LA Kings. I think it looks great. Overall, really like it. I think it looks better than the original 90s look. I think it's easier to read. It's bigger. It's going to look better on the jersey itself. We did not get any jerseys or anything like that, but obviously we're going to think that's going to look a lot like the 90s look. It's going to be probably black base with some silver and some white stripe. Same as the away. It's going to be white base with some black and silver striping. Not going to probably see too much fancy striping or anything like that. Nothing too modernized, but it's going to probably have that sparkle that they use on their alternate uniforms from this past season, I guess. So LA, great job on this logo. I would say it's got to be a mid-8s for me. I'd say probably 8.3 out of 10. I really like it. Unfortunately, I'd rather see the more colorway. I'd rather see a purple included in there. But overall, I think the logo looks really good. Great job. All right, now we got Washington. They unveiled their 50th anniversary logo. Here it is. Really nice logo. It's going to be on the front of the uniform by the captain patch. So that's going to be a very crowded spot. I'm not going to like that. Obviously, because they had to put their stupid ads on the uniform, we're not going to be able to avoid that any longer anymore. So Washington did unveil this very nice logo. The colors are from the original 70s original logo, and the font and the stars that are incorporated on this 50th anniversary logo come from the original jersey and logo used in the 1970s for the Capitals. I think it looks really good, really clean. Doesn't need to be complicated or anything, but looks very good. Plus, Washington unveiled this logo on social media along with their jersey, and this is the first time we've seen in person a Fanatics authentic jersey for this upcoming season. Personally, don't see too much of a difference. The only thing I can see different is the shoulder yoke. So the shoulder yokes on the old Adidas are like kind of got holes. I mean, it's not really holes, but it's like punched out. Kind of indentations is the best I would say on the shoulders of all their uniforms. That's just what Adidas did. That was their signature there. Fanatics announced that they were not going to use that. That's Adidas thing. They were not going to take that over. So they changed it to probably exactly what the Fanatics one looks like. Same material, which is just a thicker kind of texture on the shoulders because of probably just wear and tear. But it's no holes. So it does look weird. It looks different. But besides that, doesn't look too much different. But it is the first time we have seen in-person Fanatics authentic jersey. And last thing to talk about, we're going to talk about the class of 2024 Hall of Fame. That was those names were dropped earlier today. We got Pavel Datsyuk, Jeremy Roenick, and Shea Weber for the male athletes. For the female athletes, we got Natalie Darwitz and Chrissy Wendell-Pohl. And for the front office guys, we got Colin Campbell and David Poley. So congrats to every single one of you guys that are in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Awesome achievement. Class of 2024. All right, let's head to the MLB. So we'll start off with a contract extension. Christopher Sanchez, he's had a very good season with Philadelphia. He's going to get an extension. He got a 4-year extension to stay in Philadelphia. So very good pickup there. Who knows if he's going to be able to keep it up. But he's having a very good season, so he's definitely well-deserved. Then we're going to go to Toronto. Prospect Olavis Martinez has been suspended 80 games for performance-enhancing drugs. Edwin Diaz of the Mets, he's been suspended 10 games for foreign substance on his hand during a pitching check. That's just typical checks and typical suspension for getting caught with something. Unfortunate news, we got Tommy John surgery coming out of Baltimore and Los Angeles. Patrick Sandoval for the Angels and Kyle Bradish for the Orioles are both going to undergo Tommy John surgery, which is just another victim of the TJ. Fernando Tatis Jr. was placed on the 10-day IL with right femoral stress reaction. He was hit by a pitch earlier in the weekend, and he has been placed on the 10-day. And lastly, Houston put Justin Verlander on the 15-day IL with neck discomfort. This guy just cannot seem to stay healthy, which is unfortunate because he's still probably one of the top pitchers in the league, but he's just not in the lineup nearly enough to make himself a worthy candidate as a top player. All right, let's head to the Euros and the Copas. We'll start off in the Euros. Pretty much everybody is done. We have one more day of match play, and that is Wednesday morning. When you guys are probably watching this, it could be already over or they're playing right now. Those teams will be from Group E and F. They have only played 2 games each, but we'll take you into all the groups, what happened, and the top 2 teams have clinched, and the third place teams, some of them have clinched, but we have to wait till all the matches are done and over with. So we'll start off in Group A. Germany wins that group, 7 points. They went 2-1-0, +6. Switzerland had second place. They had 5 points, went 1-2-0, +2 goal differential. Hungary only had a win and 2 losses, got 3 points. Scotland did not get a win. They got a draw, though. Did only have 1 point. They've had a tough run in the Euros and World Cup. Just can't seem to get out of the group stage. Have never been out of the group stage when it comes to the Euros. So hopefully next time around Scotland's able to get something, but just tough luck with the Scots. We had to Group B where Spain won this one. They went undefeated, 3-0-0, 9 points with a +5 goal differential. Italy ended up winning on a 99th game tying goal against Croatia to seal 4 points, a 1-1-1 record throughout group stage. Croatia ends up going home, though. They only got 2 points with 2 draws. And Albania rounded out this one with only 1 point. They got 1 draw, 2 losses. But Albania played really well. They just had a very hard group to try and get out of. So really good, awesome group, really entertaining yesterday to watch. But unfortunate news for Croatia because that team, high expectations for a lot of people, just not able to get it done with this older squad. So who knows what's going to happen with the future of Croatia, but hopefully they're able to kind of get Modric, maybe some other hardware. And then we head to Group C where England won this one with 5 points. They went 1-2-0, 2 draws. Have not looked all that great, to be honest. Not been impressed at all by England. Denmark got second in the group. 3 draws, goal differential of 0. Slovenia also 3 draws, goal differential of 0, obviously, with 3 points. So they're most likely both in going forward. And Serbia got 2 draws and a loss for 2 points, so they're most likely not going to be there. Group D, we got Austria winning this one. So who knew? Austria got 2 wins and a loss for 6 points. France ended up only getting 1 win and 2 draws for 5 points, so both of those guys will move on. The Dutch should be able to move on as well. They got 4 points, a win, draw, and loss throughout group stage, and Poland only gets a draw and 2 losses for 1 point, so they go home early. This one was entertaining. Austria ends up winning on the final day against Netherlands 3-2, a good back and forth match. While the other game, France were up 1-0. Poland got a, I think, 70th minute penalty shot chance, and Lewandowski ended up getting it saved, and they reviewed it. Goalie went off the line too early, so Lewandowski had a chance to go out there again, buried it, and ended up getting the draw, giving Austria the group in this one. So very interesting to see Austria win that group. I'm very interested to see what they're going to do moving forward now. Now we head to E and F. Both these groups have only played 2 games. I'll tell you who the final match day is, but where the table is right now. So actually this table for E, everybody's got 3 points. Everyone's 1 win, 1 loss. Romania leads it though. Belgium second, Slovakia third, and Ukraine is 4. Belgium and Ukraine will play against each other. Slovakia and Romania will play against each other. For F, we have Portugal in first with 6 points, 2 wins, no losses or draws. They will play against the 4th place team, Georgia, who's only got 1 point, 1 draw, 1 loss. Turkey, who's second in the group with 3 points, they have a win and a loss. They will face Czechia, who has a draw and a loss for only 1 point. So everyone's still eligible in this group. Portugal automatically makes it through, but that second place is still out for grabs, especially if Czechia wins or Georgia that ends up winning. They will leapfrog Turkey in this one. So a lot up for grabs with that group. All right, let's head to the Copas, where everybody has finally played 1 game. Some teams are in the middle of playing their second game right now. Canada and Peru are actually playing right now. 0-0 in the 62nd minute. And Argentina versus Chile will play later tonight. So everyone will get their second games leading up to this weekend. We'll start off with Group A, where Argentina leads that one 3 points with a win with a +2 goal differential. Peru and Chile both got a draw, so they have 1 point. In Canada at -2 goal differential have 0 with the loss. We had to B where Venezuela won and Mexico won, both on top, tied 3 points with a +1. Ecuador and Jamaica both with losses are 3 and 4. We had to see where Uruguay and USA won their first game with a +2 goal differential and 3 points. Panama and Bolivia both get losses with 0 points, obviously. And lastly, Group D, Colombia leads that group with 1 win. They won over Paraguay, so they're at the bottom of the table. But Brazil and Costa Rica tied at 0-0 yesterday, so very tough tie. That's a big win for Costa Rica, so who knows what's going to happen there with the rest of that group. They should be fine. Brazil should be fine, but it just makes it very interesting going into that game against Colombia. So Colombia is able to win that one. Maybe Costa Rica beats Paraguay. Who knows what's going to happen? So very interesting to see what happens with Brazil. They should be okay, but anything can happen in soccer. All right, let's head to the cleanup now, where we have NBA talk to start off. JJ Redick agrees to a 4-year contract to be the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Who knows how long that's going to last and how successful that's going to be, but that's a tough job to have. NBA trade, we had the Bulls and the Thunder trade, 1-for-1 here. Josh Giddey goes from OKC to Chicago in exchange for Alex Caruso. Very surprising trade. Giddey is an up and down player, but he had a tough year, especially with all the legal stuff going on with him. Caruso could be a great player, could also just be a whatever player. So who knows what's going to happen there, but I think it's going to leave both teams satisfied with their picks. We head to college football, where Oklahoma gives their new head coach, Brent Venables, a 6-year contract extension. So congrats to you, Venables. Juventus has purchased Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa for $53.5 million. Tennessee baseball has defeated Texas A&M 6-5 in Game 3 for their first national champion. I actually called this. I said that Texas A&M was going to be able to give Tennessee a run for their money. If that was going to be the only team, if Tennessee did not win, Texas A&M was going to be that team to beat them. So I called this championship. I'm giving myself props for that. But Tennessee was a very good team playing throughout the whole playoffs and all season long. So congrats to the Volunteers there. For the Calder Cup, which is the AHL championship, the Hershey Bears won for the second straight year. So yes, we usually don't talk about minor leagues, but because you win back-to-back championships, obviously you're going to get talked about. So the Hershey Bears, congrats to you guys. But they beat the Coachella Valley Firebirds for a second straight year, and they did it to clinch in overtime. Same exact way they did it last year, just this time they did it in 6 games, where last year they did it in 7. Very interesting to see how much of a correlation that is, but congrats to you, Hershey, winning this one for their second straight Calder Cup championship. All right, let's head to games of the week. We'll start off the MLB 3-game set, Guardians versus the Royals. For NASCAR, I got Nashville Super Speedway Sunday at 12:30 p.m. on NBC. For the Euros, we have very few confirmed matches. So the only one that I like that was confirmed, Germany versus Denmark, Saturday at 12 p.m. on Fox. Obviously, the hosts have a lot of expectations, so I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup for them. And for the Copas, Sunday at 5 p.m. on Fox, I got Mexico versus Ecuador. Possibly could be a big game when it comes to that group. So that should be interesting to watch on Sunday. All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening to this one. Have an awesome week and 116 episodes in the book. Stay tuned for next weekend because we're going to have a rankings episode out. So make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, notification bell so you guys are notified when that comes out because that will be a YouTube exclusive episode. So if you guys are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, go check out the YouTube channel because we're going to have that episode only out on YouTube. If you guys are on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, and the bell. Thank you guys for listening to this one. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you guys later.